I want to share something with you that's really, really cool. I'm going to show you in this video how to beat your competitors on price without overpaying. Hey, I'm Jared Krause, and not only is buying websites very, very fun, but it's very, very lucrative, and it's a life changer. It's an absolute game changer. It's changed my life from going from plumber to where I'm at now, teaching people to buy website businesses as well. But also it's helped so many people replace their income, which has allowed people to, work from home, work from anywhere, have more time doing what they want, and choose the hours and the work that they want to do as well. And that's a very attractive thing, which hence why the competition for buying websites has increased, which hence why the multiples for websites have increased, which hence why the price of websites has increased. For the best advice on how to go away and buy an online business that's past that 90% failure rate all startups face and has a proven track record of making money every single month, go away and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you can get updated when I upload new videos about this every single week. So make no mistake, it is starting to become very, very competitive when buying website businesses. Now, I don't like to haggle and try and beat people on price and do all this sort of stuff. I like to stick to my own lane and run my own show. And if I get my offer accepted, great. If I don't, that's okay. I'm not attached to that because I know there's an abundant amount of opportunities, an abundant amount of websites I can purchase. But when there is one that I'm like, I really want this because it's a great deal, I have some leverage up my sleeve. Normally as a website buyer, you don't have so much leverage. The seller has leverage because they have the business that you want to buy, and there's a big pool of buyers that want to buy that as well. So normally they can have a lot of leverage on price. I want to flip the card here. I want to change the game, and I want to help you understand and help you to not need to compete on price and run your own game as well and stay in your lane, and how you can beat people on price but still come away with a win, still come away with purchasing a deal but even paying less than some other buyers. Now, I want to explain how this is done through an experience, right? I know somebody who was selling their website business or their online business, and they had two different offers. One was for a higher price and one was for a lower price, but they liked that buyer so much more because they were going to treat the business differently. They were an attractive buyer because they wanted to keep the team on. They wanted to run the race with this business in a better trajectory. So they decided to take less for the business, but ensure that business would go to a good person and achieve great success. Now, if you understand that and you want to beat people on price, there's one way that you can do it. It's called being an attractive website buyer. But how do you become an attractive website buyer? That's what I want to talk about with you in this video. How to become an attractive website buyer so you're not competing on price, and so you can win deals even with a less amount of money and walk away with the business that you want without having to haggle against people that have very deep pockets. So the first thing that you need to have in your toolkit to becoming an attractive website buyer is you need to have experience in due diligence. Let me give you an example. You need to be fast. You need to be efficient when you do diligence, and you need to know where to go to find the information you need to understand the business at a deeper depth and understand if it's a good business or not, and one that you want to go away and purchase. So I want to give you an example. I was speaking to somebody who wanted to sell their site, actually multiple sites, and they said to me, Jared, I don't want to have to talk to a lot of brokers. I don't want to have to answer 7,000 questions. I just want a quick and easy sale. And I knew that this person would take a lesser amount of money for the business or the businesses if I made this very, very easy and very, very quick for them, right? Fast and efficient. Because I've got a bit of experience doing due diligence, and I do this every single week, I know how to do due diligence, and I know how to go away and find the information, and I know what questions to ask, and I know how to find the information to those questions as well. So for this person I said I only needed a couple of things, right? I need access to your Google Analytics account, I need to see your financials, and I need to know if you've got a PBN. So I just needed to know 3 things from the get-go. I went away and did due diligence, and I worked out whether the business was a business I wanted to purchase or not. In this case, it wasn't. The good thing about that for him is that through due diligence, I didn't ask him 10,000 questions, right? I kept to my own. I knew how to go away and value the business based off three things alone, and find all the information that was missing in the gaps, get all the dots and start linking those dots up myself, because I've got experience in doing due diligence. So if you don't have experience in doing due diligence and you're fumbling around and you go, okay, this is the first website business I'm looking at, you can have so many questions that you need to ask, and a lot of them are questions that you don't know what to ask, right? So you're gonna have a lot of questions to ask, but you don't know what specific questions you should ask to understand if the business is a good investment or if it's risky. When you're coming to do due diligence and be an attractive buyer, you need to be experienced in due diligence. So for somebody it's the first website they're looking at, the second or third, they're fumbling around, they haven't got their processes and their systems set up, and they don't know what to do, it's not a very attractive to somebody who's selling a site, knowing that this person's fumbling around, whereas this other person only needs three things from me and they can give me an offer or not, and it's very fast, efficient, and easy. So being an attractive buyer, what it means is making the job of selling a business super easy for the seller of that business. The next thing that you need in your toolkit for being an attractive buyer is having great communication skills, right? What I mean by this is, like, when you come to look at this business, you shouldn't have 200 questions, right? And send each of those questions in 200 emails, right? One question per email. That's just ugly, and it's gonna really piss the seller off. Instead, like I said before, I had three things that I asked for, right? It's very simple, very easy for that person to give me, and made their job very, very, very easy. But if you're asking the seller one question one day and another question the next day and another question the next day and having to do 2 or 3 calls, then this is just annoying and frustrating, especially if there's somebody else who's looking at buying the business saying, hey, I just wanna go away and do due diligence. These are the only 2 or 3 things that I need in a bullet point list. And they put an offer through, and they can do it a lot quicker than you can, because you're fumbling around trying to ask one question one day and the next question the next day, and thinking and ahhing, and that's not very attractive at all. It's actually unattractive. So have great communication skills. In fact, you should only need to speak to the seller once through one call and make a decision. And then the rest of the time, it should be after you purchase the business through training and all that sort of stuff. So have great communication skills. And when you do ask questions or you have a bullet point list, make them short, make them condensed. Don't make it a paragraph each question. Make it very, very simple. And with the communication, have it prompt, right? For example, if you get an answer to a question, right? Or once you get information from the business and you have some questions, try and give those questions the next day, right? And follow up with them the next day. So if you get an email from a broker or you get an email from the seller, be very, very responsive, right? Doesn't have to be, don't need to be waiting by the computer or your laptop or your phone every single minute of every single day. But at least within 12 to 24 hours, respond and let that seller or the broker actually know that you've received that, and you're being responsive and your communication's on point. So like I said before, just be attractive, make it very, very simple for the seller. Another thing that makes you an attractive buyer is not trying to haggle on price, right? I see a lot of people that are coming to the space and they've got under $50,000 or even less, sometimes even more, and they try to haggle on price. They try and give them a low ball offer, right? For me, if I'm a seller and I'm selling my business, I know there's other people that are gonna pay a certain price range. And if I see a lowball offer, that just tells me that I don't wanna deal with that person at all, right? I'm not here to haggle on price. I just wanna sell my business for the best possible price I can. And if I've got somebody lowballing me, it's just unattractive, frustrating, and annoying. So don't be that person that just puts in a lowball offer hoping to get the business at that price, right? Instead, what I suggest you do is make one offer, right? One offer only, and stick to it. But don't make it a lowball offer or super low unless you see that that business is not very valuable and you see that the value of the business is this one offer and it's below asking price. That makes sense. But what I'm saying is, make sure you offer once. You put one offer in and stick to it. Make it a good offer make it a fair offer and just stick to it. I like to go, hey, I like your business. I think it's worth X amount based on this, and I'm only making one offer. I'm not gonna, barter, and I'm not gonna, do counter offers and stuff like that. If you like it, great, we'll proceed. If you don't like it, that's fine, we won't. You can go with somebody else, right? You can go with some other buyer. I say this to let them know that I'm not here to stuff around. I let them know subconsciously or unconsciously that I know what I'm talking about. I know the value of this business, and I'm only going to make one offer. If it's not right for you, that's okay, sell it to somebody else. And I actually let them know that when I put an offer through. So don't be that person who's trying to haggle on price and trying to ask 1,000 questions and trying to get, the best deal possible, right? Instead, just do what's good, do what's fair. And if you don't get that, that's okay. Walk on, move on to the next business and do the same thing. But ensure you let the seller know that you're not going to fumble around with price. You're not going to accept counter offers from them, right? This puts the ball in your court, and you just say, hey, I know what I'm doing. This is subconsciously. You don't need to toot your own horn here, but through your messaging, you say, I'm going to offer one price. I know what I'm doing. If you don't want it, sell it to somebody else. That to a seller, if I'm selling my business, I go, okay, that person knows what they're talking about, which is going to allow me to see more validity in the actual offer that person sends to me. So I go, okay, maybe the business is worth around that price range. And it builds and it allows me as a seller to build more trust in that person who made that offer, which trust is a byproduct of, that seller or that possible buyer being attractive, right? They put an attractive offer in. It made sense, it was clear, and it was concise. So make one offer, make it a good offer, your best offer, and stick to it. Another thing that I want to talk about, and this is the last thing on being an attractive buyer, is relationship building. Be in this space. If you want to buy a website business and multiple website businesses, I suggest think long-term and be in this space for the long term. What I mean by this is build relationships and invest time in the relationships. Not only just with the seller, but with the brokers as well. I tell my clients to tell brokers what they actually want, what type of business they want, how much they want to spend, what's involved with that business, right? I tell them to be nice to the brokers and give them all the information they need. Be clear, concise, responsive, and professional. And also be like that with the sellers. Be clear, concise, professional, responsive, have great communication skills. Don't over communicate where not necessary. And just be a smart website investor and ensure that you're not fumbling around, right? And ensure that you're investing in the relationship and being nice and just making this process really simple for the seller. You'd be surprised at how many people are out there as buyers and just come into this space fumbling around, and they're just so unattractive in their approach to buying a website business. It's not hard for you to be that one attractive buyer and build a great relationship with the broker and build a great relationship with the seller. And the reason I think relationships are so valuable and so powerful is because relationships stick around, right? The transaction comes and goes, right? So you can make more and the relationship is more valuable to you than the one transaction you made, right? You can make more money through the relationship than the actual business you end up buying in the long term. Why? Because in 5-10 years time, you might buy another business from that seller, or they may have an opportunity where you joint venture with them, right? Or vice versa. So keep that relationship, keep it for the long term and invest in that relationship, right? I don't mind overpaying a little bit for a business if I know that this other person is going to build another business that I may buy, and instead of them going straight to the broker, they're going to come straight to me. We cut out the broker's commission. They know I'm fast, efficient, and I do great due diligence because I'm an attractive buyer. It makes their job so much easier. They're going to get more money. I'm going to get a better deal, and we keep our relationship. So invest in the relationships, guys. They're so valuable. I want to ask you, what other things do you think makes an attractive website buyer? Along your journey through doing due diligence and looking at websites for buyer, what have you picked up, or what are the skills that you've learned or started using for yourself to be more of an attractive buyer and get an offer accepted that can be lesser than what they're asking and lesser than what some other people offered just because you were an attractive buyer? Please, I want you to share that in the comments here, so we have a massive resource for everybody who wants to be an attractive buyer and wants to be able to buy a website business for lesser than what the competition is offering because they're good at what they do. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well. And that's it from me, guys. Speak to you on the next one.